just like bulldozed. Like, it was crazy.
That's like victim revisionist history, bro.
100%.
I don't deny it.
We create our reality. We're the ones who did this for the fucking world.
That's right, Benjamin. Good to see you, man.
Identify with that. I can't identify with that.
Hello, Benjamin. Yay.
Well, Slatislav, how often have you gone without smoking weed? How many days in a row have you gone without smoking?
Maybe
Totally.
like minus 200 days.
Right. Maybe you should just take a period of not smoking and get to a reality.
And while he's doing that,
maybe.
Benjamin, you need to smoke some weed, man.
I agree.
It's really
100%. You need to have a balance. You have to have a balance.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you.
You can't be smoking every second of every day. Or what? I agree.
Slavo Squatch, just mail your weed to Benjamin.
Yeah, I can't agree with that.
Have you tried it? Have you tried it? You don't even identify. You can't even witness to yourself.
I try it every day. I'm trying it right now. Do you see me?
Try not doing it for a week.
Welcome to intervention, bitch.
Listen, I
We haven't
can't.
even started yet, man.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, man. It's just, it's not like possible.
Hey, everything's possible, brother. You can do it.
Yeah, it's really about
I
getting
don't
there.
think so, dude.
You're the god
I
of
don't
this
think-
realm, brother.
I don't
You
think
can
it's
do it.
Possible, dude.
You can
It's
do
It's
it.
about getting the base.
Welcome to the dojo, everybody. It's time to get started. Yeah. So if you're new here, we have a participants thing on your interface down at the bottom, and if you click that, you will see a bar rise up, and then at the bottom of that, you'll be able to raise your hand. And so anybody that has anything to say right now can go ahead and raise their hand. And yeah, until that happens, I just want to say, James, good stream today, man. And looking good over there, buddy. Looking good. Glad to see that. You know, I'm happy for you where you're at. And if there's something I'd like to hear you talk about at some point is, you know, you've flushed the bindle down the toilet, right? But you're an addict, right? So I'd like to hear you talk about what you're going to do next time at some point.
Right on. I get the feeling that Tease is probably going to be even bringing this topic up. So I'll just wait, but I'd be happy to talk about that. And thanks a lot,
Sure.
Nicholas.
Yeah, right on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call on Josh Reisman. Go ahead and take the talking stick, my friend.
Right on. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if this is something we need to chat on in Dojo, but I guess it was maybe 3 or 4 days ago. James had put that message up about talking about what the dojo is going to look like moving forward. So I thought, hey, if no hands are up right now, maybe we could use this time to chat a little bit about, you know, are we going to maybe separate it into a couple of different groups? When we would start the Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing, because I know I personally think that there's good value in maybe, you know, separating into some smaller groups. And I think it's a way that we can give each other some stronger witness. Also, you know, for people that are more active in participating, right, then those smaller groups, I think will, you know, bring out some more participation there as well. And, you know, get to know each other better, swing boards at each other, because as we have those smaller, tighter groups, we're going to get to know each other more intimately, and we're going to be able to do those things, right? Because if you know people just sort of on a very high level, it's hard to really bring that that energy that they might need to, you know, kind of crack them open a little bit. So yeah, I thought I would just open it up and say, you know, maybe we could chat a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I'd be into that. I'd be into that, Josh. I agree with your sentiments. You know, the larger group is very powerful, and the smaller groups have their own kind of value, you know. So that's how does anybody else feel about that?
Let me just say real quick, Nicholas, in case people didn't actually see the post that I made, that just to kind of get the conversation just initially started into this, I'm suggesting, this is just a suggestion, that Dojo goes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, no Tuesday, Thursday. There is a beginner dojo and an advanced dojo. How do you know which dojo you go into? Well, it's simple. If you feel like you belong in advanced dojo, you belong in advanced dojo. If you do not know which dojo you belong in beginner dojo. If you feel like you belong in beginner dojo, you belong in beginner dojo. And I think that that's really all it's going to take. I'd like to think that when people are in beginner dojo, they're getting called on real basic fouls like check your ego bra, or just like real simple energetic mistakes that we kind of feel like maybe you hear me regurgitating when I correct someone, that we'd like to sort of limit that into scope. Where even things like with Trevor yesterday, which I'm really glad happened, by the way, but like Trevor interrupting me would be like a great beginner dojo, if that makes sense. In other words, we'd be explaining to him the importance of, if you see someone opening up, this is exactly what we want. We don't want to apologize for that. We want to welcome that. So beginner dojo is more for how to get you the tools necessary where you could even walk in advanced dojo without going home and feeling like you've just witnessed a mosh rape or something weird like that. Advanced Dojo is going to be more for those of you that have contacted me that I know how hungry you are for this. It's exactly why this has all been built. So that's kind of the idea. Now, when I tell you Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's just something we can talk about. I know that a lot of you are like, well, what about night classes? What about this? And all that's just as important to me. I just have mentioned Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is just more of like a framework to see if I could even get you guys on board with the idea of having these two different dojos. One of the downsides to having these two dojos is that once you enroll in your dojo, you are tied to that dojo. This is very, very important. Now, I want these dojos to be limited in two ways, one of which is you're limited to the amount of time the dojo has. I'm not talking about the hour and a half. I'm talking about an 8 to a 12-week program where each of us feel limited by the amount of witness and time we have for each other. The second way I would like to limit the dojo might be controversial, but just at least hear me out. It is putting a fee on it. If you have a small fee, a small sacrifice that you're making per dojo, I think that it's going to make all of us more authentic and less likely to listen to someone ramble on for 20 minutes without actually saying something authentic. So those would be the two things that I've suggested that kind of like turning the screws on the class that would cause this sort of thing to happen. The advanced dojo and the beginner dojo. After you complete the 8-week course with that dojo, not only do you have that cohesion with the tribe, but you may want to go in again. You could just simply enroll in the next course. You would be united with another tribe. The entire thing would be different from there. So it's giving us all a stair-stepping program where we can kind of raise up. Each of us can kind of do our own thing. And there's not one person that's going to be able to look at you while you're in dojo and say, you're victimizing me by being too honest. That will never, ever be able to happen because everyone has signed up for the dojo class they want. The beginner's dojo is going to be a lot of hand-holding, isn't it? Because everyone's already signed up for the idea that they want the hand-holding, and that's fine. I think that's important. I think it's really important when we're trying to reset this language. But after that hand-holding's done, it's time to step into the mat and do some serious work. And I think that's really what we've all been trying to do. So that's the concept. I'm not saying no night classes. Just to explain it though, I'd said maybe there'd be like a 12:30 beginner dojo, which is what we're in now. And then maybe an advanced dojo that starts at 12:30 until 4. And then we'd be doing night classes depending on who's interested and whatnot. So that's sort of the gist of it all. I love feedback. We can talk about it now. You can email me later. It doesn't matter. In fact, I'm going to kind of let I want to let Nicholas decide how much, time he even wants to allocate to this, because it's okay for us to think about this. You can marinate on this for a while too, Nicholas, just so you know. I'm okay with that. But that's sort of the gist, and I'll stop talking now. Thanks.
Thank you, James. Melanie, go ahead.
James, for some of the people that maybe did not get this, I'm sure when they watch this, they'll be able to get that information. And if you're turning it like into a course as well, which I think is a good idea. So when everyone, let's say when everyone is mixed together, or not mixed together, separated, let's say, for beginner to advance, I just want to say from my perspective, like when I first started, I needed some of the advanced people around me, or else I would have never gotten to anywhere, and I'm still going. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out a little bit, just to give an example.
That's a good idea. We could have like a prerequisite number of advanced dojo members in each of the beginner dojos.
That would work.
On a voluntary basis.
There's no way that the class, you're going to find that the beginners in the class are going to sort themselves. I know how dynamics work. I'm telling you, you're going to find right away that this class will sort itself out. Please also remember that I will be in that class too. And I feel like I bring a pretty heavy witness, so I can actually be constantly correcting people. I think if anything, the beginner class is going to allow me more freedom, because people are going to be wanting me to interrupt them more and to interject more to correct their form. And I think as I do that more, the moderator of that class is going to start to do it more too. And that's going to bring it out. I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but the way that I am acting in dojo is how the moderator is supposed to act. And the way the moderator is acting in dojo is how all of you fuckers are supposed to act. And we are slowly getting there. It's beautiful. So I just want you to know, I don't mind taking the time. We're getting there slowly. But the way that I behave is exactly how Nicholas is starting to behave. I don't know if any of you have noticed that or not. And the way that Nicholas was behaving before, many of you are starting to behave that way now. This is part of this process where we're becoming more comfortable in the trauma bond. Seriously, the trauma bond that we have that allows this kind of authenticity to come out. So, thanks.
James, sorry. Is it, so it would just be one dojo a week then?
No, it would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So just as a suggestion, Jennifer, it would be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And guys, the reason why I suggested Monday, Wednesday, Friday is because if someone's not tired from dojo, something's really wrong. There's something seriously wrong that people are wanting to dojo at night, after dojo, on the weekends, in between. That's telling me we are not doing enough work. And that's why we need advanced dojo. I'm going to lose some awesome people if I don't start this advanced dojo. And those people are not going to have what I think would be awesome tools if they could stay long enough to have. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That would give us a day of rest kind of in between, because I think hopefully at least one of us is going to need that time to recover.
Right on. These are all great ideas. We can come back to this at some point. Tees, I'm going to go ahead and pass the talking stick to you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Nicholas. We can pick this up later a bit. I'm in Europe, so for me, this 12:30 time, your time is perfect, because that's my after work hour. But that's beside the point. I think the crowd is more from Canada or America. James, you're right. I want to get back to you regarding what you're throwing into this triangle. That was my post was about. I'm sort of I'm sensing you're feeding this thing, and my question to you is, when do you have satisfaction? What is satisfying you for doing this? That's my question for James.
I feel so empowered today. Like this goo is released itself from my chest. And I slept forever. I read a book. I haven't laid in bed and just read a book in forever. And it feels like I'm free. It feels like, because I burned this triangle so completely in my mind, because I burned this triangle so completely, I want to remind you all that I was begging for one of them to give me witness to this triangle by writing both of them in emails, email after email after email. And it was just never an answer. Not a fuck you, not a leave us alone, not a just nothing, as if it wasn't happening. And so to me, I think I said this today on the stream, but it felt really good to have a witness to that, to have someone, even if it's not them, someone was seeing what I was going through, and someone was saying, good, this is great. It just felt so good. And of course I still think about her, of course I still think about him. And when I woke up this morning, the first thing I thought was the same thing that I thought last night when my phone rings or when it buzzes or whatever. And at first the addiction is like, is that her? Is that something about him? And that's going. I can't say it's gone, it's going. In other words, when that happens, I do instantly wonder, is that her? And then I instantly think of what it is that I told her, that what it is that I said. And I realize it's not even that I realize. So it's like, even if it is her, it's on a completely different vector now. There's no, I don't see how this is ever repairable again, is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like I kept asking her or him to acknowledge that. And because neither of them would, this just feels perfect. I'm not saying it's right, Tease. I'm just telling you right now, it feels perfect. Because I've tried no contact. I've tried talking directly to them. I've tried to embarrass her. I've tried to embarrass him. Nothing has worked. I've escalated each time. This is what I feel is like the final escalation, because I would be now held accountable to all the witnesses that I created if I was to ever talk or think about or consider Lauren, if that makes sense. It just feels like such a cleaner blade, because even if she tries to turn around, she's looking at all this fucking bullshit that she's going to have to own up to before she could ever even try and fuck with me again. And I just simply know she doesn't have the electricity for that. So that's my thinking on it. I think that it's as over as Owen Benjamin is. I say that because sometimes Owen is a perfect example for me to bring up in live stream about someone who's afraid of this, or someone who thinks about this, or someone who's this. To me, it's an archetypal tool now. Lauren, this triangle, even Andy are part of that. They're instruments in my mind, just like all of you are. You know, I'll have a conversation. I used to have a conversation with Kieran all the time because I knew I was losing him and he's not in Dojo anymore. What I mean by that is it's kind of that kind of a tool. It's an instrumental tool in my mind that I use as an important gauge to try and figure out where I'm at and how it feels. I am still addicted to this, Tease. I still am. I'm just saying it. I don't think that it's like fixed right there. I think right now what has to happen is I get to move on. And I say get to, because I'm looking forward to it. This morning I was up like at 5, just putting all these slides together, and it just really felt good. I just love that. I've always loved that. I love doing my work. I love not focusing on bullshit. I love not thinking that the answer to me really wanting a family is just this one little conversation away. I'm so fucking glad that that's not what I have to even look at anymore. So I hope that explains a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, it explains it. I like the phrase you use. This is a clean blade. That makes sense. But I also hear you talking about, well, this is not. Yeah, I don't know what you said. The word rescuable. This is not repairable. I still wonder why you would use that term, because I think there is a slight tendency towards, oh, I would like this to be repaired.
Yeah. Let me, can I, because you're right, Tease. I just want you to know that, and I hope I'm not jumping on this, but she had told me, I mean, I had told her over and over, this is not repairable. This is not repairable. This is not repairable. Here's what I'm saying about you. Here's what I'm saying about Andy, like trying to make it as unrepairable as possible. Never once calling her out. In fact, people thought it was Amanda Vollmer forever. I'm not trying to hide, by the way. I'll put this back on me. People thought it was Amanda Vollmer forever. I was protecting her by not telling, if that makes sense. I was actually protecting her from doing that. When I say not repairable, what I mean is from her perspective. Before this, she's always had that free pass, in my opinion, where no one's ever held her accountable. Andy has never punished her. I hope you know what I mean by punish, but like, you know, in a relationship, he's never held her accountable. He's never made it expensive for her to be. She's texting pictures in his kitchen to me about how she's going to cook me dinner. Like that shouldn't be okay. That should bother him in some way. She's never been held accountable because Andy doesn't want to lose her. So I feel like what I've done by doing this is I've made it so expensive that there's no fucking way that she would want to come back, if that makes sense, because of how expensive it already is right now. At least that's the sense I have. It could be it doesn't bother her at all. It could be.
Yeah, but then you're still putting, in my sense, sort of the, yeah, I made it so expensive for her, so it's so difficult for her to come back. But please come back, please come back. That's what I hear on the background. But that's I get it that it's really expensive for her.
Addicted to redemption. Yeah, I am. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, and that's why I asked about satisfaction, and I hope you get your satisfaction from being sovereign, and not feeling free, not feeling your freedom from what you just did, because If it's a triangle still, you made your move, and now they can make their move again. And I hope that's not it. I hope you feel you made a sovereign choice to stay in your own sovereignty, in your own authenticity, and not waiting for them to make the next move. That's all I have to say. Thank you, James.
I don't see how that wouldn't be me being sovereign by doing this, Tease, is I guess my point. It would feel like...
Maybe I used the wrong word. But.
Well, I'm not disagreeing, Tease. I'm just saying, I don't understand why this wouldn't be one of the most sovereign things I could have done. That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm getting at is that I hope you made the decision for you to stand in your root, in your pelvis, to be in your cockpit for what you feel upright and sincere, so you can go on with what you're going to do. And I hope the decision that you made yesterday, and I enjoyed the whole blog about the closet polygamy as well. It was nice to read, but I hope you did not put that out there so that it's your move, and now you're waiting for them to make a move on the chessboard. So that's what I'm getting at.
Well, it's a really good concern. I'm not saying that this satisfies it, but I just want you to know that I've even told them both, look, I'm blocking this number. It's contacting me. I know that I've said that before, and then she got a new number. But anyway, I'm not trying to justify. I'm just telling you that I've even told them, look, even if you try and message me, it's not going to work that way. Except for
you know what you feel. Okay, as long as you feel.
Email is open, because I seriously wonder if maybe Andy might even reach out to me like way down the line. And because I've tried to maintain a friendship through the trauma with him. And it would be an interesting conversation to have with him one day if that was to ever occur. So
thank you, James.
Thank you, Tease. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks both you guys. Benjamin Crossland is looking fired up over there. You got something to say, man. Let's hear it.
Fucking Tease always tries to correct other fuckers. Why doesn't he correct him fucking self? Maybe if he fucking had some balls, he would have still have a fucking wife. He's always correcting other fucking people, never inflicting on himself as much. It's like, oh, they, them. How about you work on yourself? Gauge yourself. When you engage true, why don't you say, hey, the problem's with me, I see in me, and therefore I want to have these problems with James instead of correcting yourself. I had some problems last week with all this shit not being authentic and not bringing shit up here, and it was driving me nuts. And I don't know what I heard from James, but I heard maybe I shouldn't be back in the dojo until I do some shit, and I did some shit. Anyways, I felt like I had to go through some stuff. And it's beautiful because I'm working on myself. And fucking Tease is always working on other fuckers. Why don't you work on yourself, Tease? And you're always bringing up other people's shit and then not bringing up, correcting yourself. Why don't you go work on yourself? As far as the levels of dojo, I don't think you should be on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday shit and should be in the juvenile and the junior until you can get authentic and really be there and working on yourself instead of all this other shit. The problems are out there. Let me correct James. Let me correct this. Why don't you work on yourself and really correct yourself in this dojo before you can come up and always correct other people? Like telling people their fucking marriage is gonna fucking break up or other shit like that. Fucking work on your fucking self instead of pointing everyone else's fucking errors out. If you want to be on the other level, work on your fucking self, you guys. Fuck. That's it.
Benjamin, thank you for your very authentic. I don't know. You feel in these things that I don't work on myself, and that's your perception. You could have texted me, called me. I get an email from you, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, because we connected on Living Soil. Yeah, you say thank you for bringing stuff to the dojo. That's what I wanted to bring. Yeah. So I don't get your anger. I don't get it. I get, well, before you respond, yeah, because I don't hear you right now. You could put on your mic, but listen.
Work on yourself, Tease. You're always correcting others. Work on you.
Well, yeah, but you say I don't work on myself. You think I think I brought plenty of stuff towards the dojo in a sense where I'm at and what my challenges are, what I had. I'm gladly want to share more. I shared something on the email a sense where I think what's very important that there's no discongruent behavior from parents towards their children, because I always think you have to tell the truth and work on your fucking self to say, yes, hey, what did I do to my children and how does
Yes.
it reflect on them so I can have this conversation with them? So fuck off.
Stop.
With,
Oh,
with
good.
telling me,
Go. Good. Go, Tease.
fuck
Go.
off with telling me that I'm not being authentic and not working on myself, because my children are the best mirror they can fucking give me. And with respect to my marriage, I fucking fought for my marriage for more than 3 fucking years. And now I'm totally fed up with the bitch because she does not want to sort of change her own behavior. She's constantly being in the dependent situation. And then you blame me that I don't want to fight for my marriage. I fucking stood at the doorway constantly keeping the other fucker out and telling her, come on, we have got 3 kids and we're going there. And I don't get where you're aiming my insincerity or not working on myself, where you get it from. I send out some conversation to you just as a genuine interest to what you bring, how you are a moderator in the dojo. Of course I respond.
Stop. Tease, first of all, you're doing great. And Benjamin's not attacking you. Benjamin's trying to secrete salt from you. And I think that I'm going to speak for Benjamin. Please forgive me, Benjamin. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I would like to ask you a question that I think might speak for Benjamin, okay? Tease, you're still with me, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe watching the way I responded to this triangle made you feel like you could have responded stronger? Is that possibly what Benjamin is wanting to ask? Because I think it is. And is that possible why you were trying to critique me, which is great, by the way?
You mean about my response at the end of the dojo yesterday? I could have made that more Bond-like. Okay, I get it. If you're talking about me saying, hey, wait a minute, what happened yesterday, I think you made a big file there in the dojo, but that's me again saying something to you, but I respond to what's being brought to the dojo.
No, I'm just so we're clear. It's actually not. I just wanted to say
no.
The question is more.
I mean, my response to you and how I brought it. That's what you're aiming at, right?
Your response to how I decided to respond to my triangle. It has nothing to do with me. You're watching just a complete stranger that responded to a triangle the way I did it, and it feels like it bothered you, that you felt like that was only feeding it. And I think Benjamin's trying to get at, dude, where the fuck was your salt? Why is James have salt in this and you don't? That's his question. I'm not saying I feel that way, Tease, but I think he's.
I don't know if he's okay. I don't know where Benjamin's coming from. You just
go ahead, Ben.
Made
whatever you want.
So,
Tease, I just want you to heal you instead of healing others. And it's like you recognize the pain in James because that pain is in you. I just want you to recognize that aspect. You recognize the pain in James because you see that in you. And that's what I want you to admit or to recognize and to see it so you can heal within yourself.
Yeah, spot on. But there, I don't feel like, okay, I really appreciate your authenticity and the way you throw it out into the camera. Thanks, Benjamin. But I'm at a point now, and maybe that's belligerent or me telling others, whatever, could be. What's this reaction? Are you zooming out?
You're intellectualizing it. Fill with your fucking heart.
No.
You have so much intellectual back. How many fucking degrees you have? How many fucking degrees? How many degrees does your parents have? How much intellectual fucking programming is that goddamn brain of yours? I want you to fucking feel something in your goddamn heart. Just once. Feel it. Here. You're always there. Don't think about the shit. Feel it from inside, Tease. If you can heal you, you can't get healed, Tease, I can't get healed. And I fucking feel all the bullshit programming I have in my life.
I think
have in your fucking brain, and you're still
Benjamin,
thinking with the bullshit in your head because you can't connect with your heart.
No. I think you talk your way, I talk my way. I have my way of connecting to my heart. I get your point. I get where it's at. I'm totally agreeing here. But what I'm not agreeing with is that I don't connect to the feelings. I respond to the situation, what's brought out there on the stream. And there's this hurt. Yeah, there's this hurt from the past to it. I know what the fuck is going on in a triangle. What do I let myself happen? I've been there. I've been in this sort of situation. And I know again what it brought me and where I'm at right now. So
Don't think with your
this-
feelings, Tease. I don't want you to even think with your feelings. I don't want you to think with your brain. I want you to do something irrational that you can't explain that you're going to do. Why am I doing this? I want you to do that. Why am I doing this?
Okay,
And you don't know why, but you're going to fucking do it anyways. And you're just going to fucking do it. And magic is going to fucking happen because you're not going to use your feelings. You're not going to use your sensations. You're not going to use your emotions.
It's fucking
and you're just going to fucking do it.
And it's working. Okay, listen up. Maybe I'm approaching the dojo too cerebral. Thank you for pointing that out, Benjamin. Spot on. That could be the case. But there's so much fucking no, don't get angry. There's so much fucking magic happening for me just to be in a situation where I get confronted with all the people in my village that see me walking there, where my wife is going off with another and they do not wish to talk to me because there is a broken relationship. But I'm fucking there, standing in my intuition, making my decisions, doing beautiful shit with the other kids in my town, also with some parents that just want to connect. And that flows. That's general flow. Maybe I don't perceive it here into dojo, but it's happening. And point me out if you don't feel me. But whatever.
I love you, Tease. I think you're fucking awesome. Thank you.
Let you stop for a sec. First of all, this is great.
Yeah, we've devoted enough time to this. This is getting a little circular.
Tease, I would like for you to understand right now that you are being charged by Benjamin. I can see it, which is good. I think this is what Benjamin wants. And the fact that you were even taking on even 5% of the energy from him is showcasing you that there's a little bit of truth to it. Just a little bit.
There's certainly truth there.
Okay, good. I want to at least mention that when I've had conversations with you, it has felt cerebral to me too. And not all.
What I mentioned to you on the email. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not even a critique, Tease. It's just that I am seeing that there's similar things coming out is all. And I'm really glad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And as a closure, I was up there, cerebral. Yeah. And I'm still very much here, but there's this warm flow of connection going right through here. That's something I'm sensing. Maybe you not, but let's bring it on in the rest of the dojos. Thanks so much.
Can I toss in one more thing here before we close out on this? Tease, you said one thing to James about how he needed to be stronger. Just kind of clip this, end it, doesn't need any part of the triangle. Do you wish that you could just end it with your wife? I mean, you've got kids obviously, but I get the sense that you're fuck, I just want to end it. I wish I didn't have to see her ever again. Is that where that anger is? Is that where that lies? You wish you could just cut that off, but you can't.
I don't want to be in a relationship with her anymore. No, that's correct. I want to take care of our kids. I want to do that in the most good way. So there's on that sense, I want to be connected, but furthermore, no, I have generally no love interest in whatsoever in that in my wife, soon to be ex-wife.
Okay, I think that's good. Thanks, Benjamin, for bringing that. Thanks for coming to my dojo. I appreciate that kind of heat and that kind of salt. And if you're ever yelling at the muted screen, I can't unmute you here. I was trying to unmute you so we could just hear what you were saying. But you butt in anytime you want, my friend. With that, I'm going to go ahead and call on Svyatoslav and make it good, Svyatoslav, or Benjamin will butt right the fuck in on you, man.
Oh, no. About the situation with Lauren and Andy and how James handled that, or is handling it, I think he did really, really good by them. I think that now they have less of room to feed off each other and squirm around. So that would be good for them in the future. That's it.
Thanks for that, Svyatoslav. That's true. You know, I have seen you there trying to really do that the right way, James. And
There's no right way to do it, guys.
well, yeah, but I mean, you've
There's no fucking right way to do it. That's why you need a clean blade, and you just fucking chop right through that head. And that's the most humane thing you can do. It's weird, but that's what it calls for.
That's a good metaphor. That's a good metaphor. The main question, I guess, that remains to be seen is: will you do it again? Will you go look? Will you get into another triangle? You know, and
I didn't sign. So probably because I didn't join this triangle. I just, for what it's worth, there was no triangle when Lauren and I were talking, when we were engaged, when we were together, when we were talking about a future. There was no triangle. It wasn't until she met Andy, and then that began, and that was the instant that happened. I was like, oh, well, you like Andy. Well, that sucks, but you know, you like Andy. And it was just a constant, I certainly could have done better, but I want you guys to know that I find that there's no way I could sustain that. I am a dude that needs fucking witness in my relationships. If a woman's in my life, we're gonna fucking hang. We're gonna do shit. And I'm not gonna be able to survive with her on that kind of polygamous kind of a thing. So I just want you guys to know that where I failed myself most was just not insisting, demanding, even though I could show you texts where I'm insisting, I demand, and fuck this. It's just, I wasn't doing it enough, that she kept raising the stakes, and I kept not minding it. Guys, she could show up right now and it would melt my heart. I'm not capable of cutting something off like that. Not that kind of affection. Not when I've smeared genitals with someone. It's just hard. I'm always going to love her. I'm always going to want the best for Lauren. I'm always going to want the best for Andy. There's no way I'm ever going to not do that. But I have to love myself. I have to focus on myself. And I've always told her that. And I've always hoped that she would see that if she could do that too, that she probably wouldn't be in this polygamous relationship. And then maybe she would hook up with me. I go that far, but it usually starts with myself going, well, I'm on a relationship that doesn't feel not good, like the opposite of bad, because relationships are supposed to be vitriolic, but I'm talking about that doesn't feel genuine or authentic. That doesn't, anyway, the moment I said that, I was like, I don't want to compete with Andy. I've never have wanted that. In fact, I think it's a sign that I love her, that when I found out she wanted to be with Andy, I said, you need to go to him. And I don't think it's a sign that he loves her. I know this doesn't matter, but I don't think it's a sign that he loves her when she tells him how she feels about me and he doesn't say go to him. I seriously think that's the big difference. The difference between love and lust is that I love Lauren enough where I want her to have a full relationship with Andy. I've told her that over and over and over again. In fact, I think that by doing this, they are now going to be closer than ever. I think they already are closer than ever. And I want that. It's sickening, but I want that. I want that because I want Lauren to be genuine. I want Andy to be genuine. Even if I have to watch them being genuine together. I just, as long as they're genuine, it's cool. Guys, if Lauren just loved Andy, if she was just like, yeah, I love him, I really picked the right guy, I'm really happy, this would not be a problem. I swear to God, this would not be a problem. Because when I love someone, I want them to be happy. It's just part of the prawn economy. Who wants to feel like shit because you're trying to wish someone would break up? It's just, there's no profit there. I wouldn't be able to sleep with myself that way. Anyway, that's all I got on that. Thanks.
I mean, like, that's all well and good. I understand all that, but you know, like you were saying, there was no triangle until she created one. So maybe the question is, like, how do you stop being attracted to women that create triangles in your life?
I don't know. It's such a good question, because the hunger and taste that I feel for Lauren is not normal. It's not normal. There's a there's one piece of the entire world, and it's at the very bottom of the world, and it's underneath all the rocks. And if I get down there and I get that piece and I move it just 2 millimeters, the entire world is fixed. I'm just telling you, that's my addiction to Lauren. That she helps me find that rock and fixes it. And it doesn't fix her, it doesn't fix me, it fixes the entire fucking world. I'm just telling you that's what it feels like, Nicholas.
No, I know. I get that, man. I get that. Thanks for being so honest. I mean, thank you for your witness, everyone. This is authenticity. We're all here working on stuff. You know, it could be right now that I'm projecting onto James, and I'm guilty of what Teese was doing a minute ago. You know, we all do this at times. You know, as Adam said, we all project, and so this is where we're all at. James isn't perfect. I'm not perfect. Benjamin's not perfect. Teese, we could name everyone here, and you know. So thank you all for your witness, because I feel safe in here. This is a safe spot to work on stuff, and that's what we're gonna do. Michael, take the talking stick, my friend. Go ahead.
I'm all right. Can you hear me, guys?
Loud and clear.
Wow. I'll tell you the truth, guys. In March this year, my world tumbled down. 20 years into geopolitics analysis, I knew something was wrong, and I started searching. And by April, May, I came by James on the website, read some books of him, and joined this dojo. And I've been here for about a week, up and on, scheduling the timing, the changing times. And about 15 minutes ago, I cried. And that doesn't happen that much to me.
Crossland.
Thank you. Last week, I gave a chat in which I said that a relationship consists of 200% energy, 100% of one and another 100% of the other. So as I look into my relationship, I'm married, got 2 kids, 13, 14. Since March, that relationship really fell down because I was afraid. I didn't know what was coming. And I needed an anchor. And I'm so glad that by listening, reading, understanding how energy works, listening to you guys as well, although it has been so short, it makes me realize that that it's not around me, it's all inside me. And that's so fucking great. That saves so much energy. Thank you so much. And I love listening to you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Michael, would you mind me connecting a little bit better to you by giving me a specific of
Specific
the pain,
what?
Of the
pain.
Yeah, a specific detail where I can connect more with you, please.
I've been in the military when I was 19, north of Iraq. I served as a medic. I've lived in Africa for half a year, in Zimbabwe in the bush.
Oh, specific of the pain, the
pain. Yeah, so the pain comes down to that I understand the world, I guess, in my perspective. And in March, the pain increased like over there because I wanted to protect my family. And I didn't know what to do because it was so big. And all I could do was just be in front of it. And I didn't realize that I was just doing it for me. They didn't bother. I mean, they're 2 kids and my wife's like down to earth. That fucking hurt. I was hurting myself. I was hurting myself. And I didn't want that. And I didn't know how to, but I thought, let's just take I just went searching, put all my energy in it. Got so fucking tired. Didn't sleep, didn't speak to my wife anymore. Nearly lost her. Yeah. Oh man. But I'm up and running again, and I'm so thankful for that. And it still hurts, but man, it's going down. That's good. Yeah. Thank you.
Michael, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much, Michael. Also, thank you, Benjamin, for secreting that from Michael. That was beautiful. James?
Welcome to the dojo, Michael.
Yeah.
Welcome to the dojo, my friend. It's really great to have you. I love how you bring it right from the beginning. You honor. Thank you for the sacrifice.
Thank you so much, everyone. Let's see. Andrea, my friend, the talking stick is yours.
Where's Michael? Thank you, Michael. So, addiction to redemption. And is that right now I want to fix Michael. I want to be there, help. I don't feel like it's enough. I guess who I am isn't enough. And I guess that's what we're here for. So I'm trying to understand.
I'm going to call a dojo foul, Andrea. Why do you think you're not enough? Why is your witness not enough?
Oh, I'm just saying. I know. I that I was just trying to say, like in witnessing Michael and listening to you, Michael. It's definitely a foul, and so why isn't it?
Michael's pain natural?
Yep.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Is it making him grow?
Good. Yeah, it's making me grow.
The more witness you give him, helping him to grow, helping him to process that pain even more?
I don't know.
Is you witnessing someone who has trouble finding someone to hear his voice? Is you witnessing him, helping him, or hurting him?
Helping. Thank you.
So why are you shitting on it? Why are you victimizing yourself in the middle of his witness by saying my witness doesn't mean anything? Do you understand? It's a very convenient way for you to shed your own power, Andrea. And we all do it. But it's a very convenient way for you to do it because it's right in the middle of his tragedy. It's very similar to saying, I'm sorry for your loss. What can I do? We're seriously asking someone, hey, I'm upset because you lost your father. Can you give me something to fucking do? Like that's what we say when we go to the funeral, right? Is there anything I can do? It's like you're asking the widow, will you comfort me because your husband just died, right? I'm not saying you're doing that, but it's the same kind of energy, right? We have to value our witness. And the more gold you pour into that witness, when you give it to Michael, the more gold he feels.
Michael even said, I'm up and running again now. Thank you. So he did even say that, which is made me beam. I was like so happy for him. Right. The pain is there coming out, and he did say, I'm better. I'm getting there, which was like, wow. So there has been that shift. There's no need to fix or even think of it. We just need to listen to what he said. Beautiful.
I know, and Michael, to be on the upswing and still offer your whole heart to us is amazing, and not try and say I'm better, I'm over it, but to still offer that to this group and to us. And thank you for that.
Do you feel like that I've kind of made it a little bit expensive for you to abandon your witness like that just now?
Yeah. That's what I want. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you so much, Andrea. Y'all.
Thank you.
It's true, Andrea. You know, your witness is worth more than gold, and all of ours are. You know, I appreciate your witness, Andrea, and it's like the most precious thing you could offer us here. So, you know, that's just how it is. We're getting used to that. We're getting used to that idea that this is actually a valuable currency we're bringing here. It is a currency. Ava, talking stick is yours.
I love the men here. I love the men here so much. Thank you, everyone who spoke, Tees and Benjamin and Michael, thank you so much. And it's just, I'm starting to feel like the dojo is becoming this new opponent in and of itself for me, because you guys are showing me what masculinity can feel like, what I can feel like up next to masculinity like this. And the bar is raised so high at this point that it's just like, fuck you guys. Fuck you. How am I ever going to find a husband that is matching this, what you guys are doing here? And I mean, thank you, James, for the shares that you've done in terms of the experience you're having with Lauren, because I have been such a female chauvinist. I have basically classified all men into some bubble that all they want is a 25-year-old to fuck. Like, that's basically, you know, any negative thing I say to myself about my age or my situation, it's because I've been pigeonholing men, and I've been such an asshole to think that all men are looking for a certain thing. And you guys are just blowing it open. And everything the men do in this dojo, I'm just going to have to keep worshiping. Like, it's what I need to practice, is worshiping the qualities you guys have and the qualities you're bringing out in each other. It is beautiful, and I'll just keep worshiping. That's what I got to do. That's what I got to do right now. That's my task right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ava. You know, and it's true. You know, that feels very good to hear. And this is a cycle where we're affecting each other. That, you know, when we get good feedback from the women, we act more like men, and then that causes the women to act more like women. So if you want to do something more than just worship, then just continue refining your femininity and being a real woman. And that's how you'll find a real man, by being a real woman.
May I jump in really quick?
Please do, Chris.
I just want to really sort of second what she just said on the, there's a physical sensation of relief in hearing you guys and listening to you guys, and just, it's just a relief. It's like this tension relaxes into, oh, I feel safe. And I can't overstate the I guess relief is just the best word right now. The way that feels is foreign. It's foreign. It's new to hear that I haven't even sorted it all yet. That thank you all of you, seriously.
Hey, someone should feel freedom in this world somehow.
What do you mean?
I mean, like the men got to work a lot, and we work a lot physically. I mean, women do a lot of work too, but men could, like, we have the ability through this financial system to create a sort of like a sanctuary for the woman, so that she can, flourish and grow good children, etc.
Yeah, and vice versa, right? I mean, so thanks. I mean, this is a great thing. We could continue to stroke each other all day. I'm just going to go ahead and call on Eric.
Hey, Nicholas, I disagree with that statement right there. I think we're nailing it right there as far as the currency, the true currency that you said before, is the currency we give each other. And I think if we can get that currency going, we won't need fucking money.
Right.
Real currency. You
Right.
nailed the true currency, and saying we have to have jobs and give the currency to the beast. The true currency, I think, is going to be manifested between us if we keep it current. And now they have the men go out there and work, 60 years ago, have all these jobs, the women stay at home, and the connection between the husband and the wife has been lost because the currency went to the beast for the men working over there instead of to the wife. And if we really have a connection between each other, things will just happen and it'll be beautiful instead of giving it to the beast and not giving it to the ones we love. And I completely disagree with Slatislav. And if you'd stop smoking for less than a day, he'd probably come to that realization.
And I don't,
I don't disagree with you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nicholas?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I don't really, I know some of the women have talked about feeling safe. That does not what goes on with me in the dojo. I end up feeling more what Benjamin, I just feel charged. I'm appreciative for everybody, for I come out like charged, and safety isn't, I don't know, maybe that's not what how I would describe how I feel about my experience in the dojo.
I'm under the impression, Andrea, that actually is going to change for you. I'm under the impression that there's a capacitance here that's being built up. That capacitance has never been seen. And so right now, someone's asking you to take that 20-pound weight, and you're like, this is fucking heavy. And you're like, I know, but just take it anyway. And that eventually you will notice that not only is it not heavy, but it actually feels good. It actually feels good in your hand. And that this is just a matter of us building up our capacitor with witness long enough to where it starts to feel like a steady state, almost like a regularity that's there with us. As if we're walking around with tons more electricity, because we're not shedding it from victimhood. And that electricity we can turn into empathy, we can turn into understanding, we can turn into all the other things that we turn it into to reach the world so much better. So I do think this will get better for you. This will feel better for you. I think the nervous system itself, I think, will learn to relax. You will dilate more because you're around the currency more. The current is flowing through you more, and you're just simply, your adrenals can handle it better. Thanks.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for bringing that up, Andrea. Based on my experience of how much good stuff is happening in this dojo and how much of it has been unexpected, I'm under the impression that more good stuff is going to keep happening, like stuff we couldn't even see coming. So, yeah, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Men be men, women be women, and dojo be dojo. Eric, take the talking stick, my friend.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. The concept of witness is fairly new to me, although, the word itself, what it's describing, is not new. It's always something that we've experienced. We just didn't have a name for it, or we didn't really know to recognize what it was. And for me, when Andrea or James said that Andrea was shitting on her witness, and then somebody said in the comment, here's a shitty casserole, it reminded me of 2 times in my life. When my mom died, I was just falling apart, and I had to go to the funeral. And then they had this, I guess it was a wake, and people kept bringing over these honey baked hams. And, you know, I had to stand there, and like my grandmother said, you gotta stand here. You know, these people are grieving. And I just remember how pissed off and how shitty I felt that I had to stand there and make other people feel better when all I wanted to do was cry and break down, because that's all I could handle. But I was forced to sit there and hug people and tell them, you know, oh, it's going to be okay. And, you know, I just, and then when my grandmother passed away, she was in her mid-90s, and it didn't hit me like it did my mother. And so I was standing there again in this line at a church, and this procession of people were coming up to give me condolences. But now I just felt like I was strong at that point, and I was telling them, like, I'm sorry for your loss. And I wanted to comfort them more, but they were trying to comfort me. And it just made me think of these dynamics of how we act when somebody's going through something. And like people were saying in the comments, it's like, you know, make me feel better about, or make me feel more comfortable around you, or something to that effect. And it's just so true. I mean, I thought about that time in my life where I needed people's witness, but I guess I wasn't getting it or something. And it took me, I think, longer to heal from that, because I didn't get what I was needing from other people. And maybe that was a deficiency in myself. I didn't even know how to ask for what I needed, you know, or where to get it. But yeah, I think the idea of witness and recognizing how important your witness is vital to this whole process in the dojo. And that's all I really wanted to say.
Thanks, Eric. I'm with you there. This witness is powerful stuff, man. Casey Bolin, the talking stick is yours.
Thank you, my friend. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Good. So this is like my second time talking on the dojo. I introduced myself last time, but yeah, I just, you know, I'm having like an issue that I'm dealing with. I kind of want to get some advice from you guys. It's probably something that everybody's dealing with, which is, and you know, I don't know if you've talked about it before, but the masks, right? Super difficult for me. I just refuse to wear one. I feel ashamed to wear one, which is why I don't want to wear one. I really believe in myself, my immune system, and the fact that this whole thing is kind of being forced on me. I just don't want to wear it. And it makes, obviously, life a lot more difficult with the things that I need to do. I have not worn one for the 6 or 8 months that it's been going on. I've been using, you know, my electricity, sorts of different excuses to not have to wear one. I get denied. I waste my time. So it's like, you know, it's a lot. It's a big burden, right? And so I was doing this in Charlotte. I just moved down here to Florida thinking that it would be better. And I didn't move here for that reason, but I was hoping to get the benefits of coming to Florida and the rules being less lenient, right? So they're actually more strict. I'm having a harder time being here, and just wanted to kind of get some advice, you know, like I moved away from my family and they want to have Thanksgiving together, Christmas together, and they want to even pay for my flight to come back, but they're just like, yeah, well, I guess we're not going to spend Christmas with you because you won't wear a mask. And I'm like, you're right, I won't wear a mask. And I'm glad you guys know that about me, but I really want to spend Christmas with you guys. And so I'm just trying to figure out what the tipping point is, that like, just where the tipping point is, you know?
Andrea, I hate to put you on the spot, but would you mind speaking to this? And Nicholas, I hope you don't mind, but this is like exactly up her alley. It's like so kick ass. In fact, your witness, Andrea, could help the situation if you'd stop shitting on it.
Okay.
And I love the witness. I love it all. That's what I'm asking for.
Okay. Where'd he go?
There you go. Go ahead.
Wait, I need Casey. There he is. Okay.
I'll pin him for you.
Oh, Casey. It hurts like shit. My son is probably your age. And he wants me to take a test, wear 30 masks covering my body, stay in the other room, eat outside, the whole thing. I talked with the dojo. I was making a trip up there to DC, and James offered I had the one piece before I left, which was, was the take the test thing. It doesn't sound like they're asking you to do that, but I'm sure that's on their list of, if you're traveling and all that. And James offered, just tell him you're contagious, just to have him assume you're contagious. And I'm shaking right now. Just was like, without this group, without this like kick in the booty, I would have just, and you're not there. You're like, look, you take me as I am or don't take me at all. And I was still just like sucking up or, giving off electricity or whatever. I'm stuttering. And I've got a lot of attachments to my son that are not how I want them to be. They're, I put a bunch of stuff on him that I'm slowly taking that energy back from that, and it's still happening. And it's happening because I said basically no mas. I'm not going to keep selling myself out so that I will feel connected to you and like fill the holes inside myself or whatever. So
yeah.
And you said that with yes. What she did was Casey, she said that with yes. She told her son, who believed in this myth, I believe you. What do you do if I take this test and it's positive? Do I come visit you? Is what she did.
Sorry to interrupt.
She didn't say, I'm not going to wear a mask. She actually said, I'm going to meet you exactly where you are. Let's assume that I'm positive. Do I still get to come visit you? Will you let me visit if I'm positive? Do you see how she changes this? She changes it completely by telling the people that are worried about it, okay, let's assume I am positive. Now what? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think my family respects me that I don't want to wear a mask. They laugh at the electricity I let out with the confidence that I have of not believing in it, not wanting to wear it. It's not even that they're trying to force it on me. I just want to go have Thanksgiving with them, and I personally can't do it because I don't want to get on a flight and wear a mask.
So is it the plane? So it's not their parents.
I can obviously take the risk and go to the airport and try to get through.
Okay, is it the plane or is it your parents?
It's literally just the fact that I want to go. Yeah, it's the plane.
Okay,
Yeah.
Great. So do you see how important that is, that we know this is not, it's not them, it's the plane, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Then check it out. You're going to go home and you're going to try your best to get there, and you're not going to wear a fucking mask. And if that means you go to the airport and they won't let you on the plane, that's not you. You're not stopping that. The plane is.
Yeah, and I don't feel guilty about that. It's just, it's such a burden that it's annoying, right? And so,
It's not a burden. It's not a burden.
Okay.
You never owned the planes. You never owned the airport. That's always belonged to Babylon. You're just seeing it now. That's all. It's always
correct. It's just correct. It's just something that I want to do. So
I want to marry Lauren.
That.
I want to marry Lauren, Casey. Who do you think is going to have better luck? You making all the masks disappear, or me marrying Lauren?
True.
Okay. Stop being a victim about it. Can you drive there?
Yeah.
It would
probably.
be right, but you could drive there, right?
Possible, yes.
Think about what your electrical field would do if it hurt you telling them, I love you guys so much. I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to see. There's no way I can wear a mask on a plane. I'm going to be driving there now. That is you still committing. That's still you doing it. You're still there. You're still in the pocket. You're showing up for yourself and your family.
Yeah.
You can go through security without a mask down there. I did it.
Yeah, you can try that too. I'm not saying no, but I'm just saying that you can still commit to what you're doing and let someone else stop you. Let Babylon stop you. Because if Babylon stops you, your parents will suddenly see Babylon fucking sucks. And that's our goal right now. At least that's part of it.
Is it a hill you're willing to die on? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Then that's when you go to those lengths. Is this the hill you want to die on? And why are you not wearing a mask? Ask those questions.
It is
worth, if it means enough to you to do that.
Yeah, both times I flew out of down south for the campfires. I flew out of where was that? The first place at Greenville Airport, no mask through TSA, and then I sat without a mask. Marion can attest. And then on the plane, well, you need a mask to get on the plane, but because they'll give you a major problem. They said like minimal exceptions. If you could squeeze through that minimal exception, you can do it. You can actually do it.
So
It's
I haven't put a mask on. Like what? How much of an electricity dump is that, right? I don't even necessarily.
Well, I mean, going through TSA, you know, they last time in Tennessee, it was Tennessee though. The other one was South Carolina. Tennessee, you know, they just patted me down pretty thoroughly though. I mean, but I think they know me real well too because of my history. But like, you know, I didn't, and they didn't make me, you know, put anything on. This is the TSA. That's the security. You know, like, you know, the other people. The major hurdle is on the plane though, and all those people. And if you can convince all those people that you have enough energy to do that, then you can do it. You can do it.
You see, I'm so worth that hill, so worth dying on for me that I expel such an energy about me that I make it expensive for people to even approach me.
Yeah,
that's because that's the hell I'm willing to die
I
on.
do
That's what I want you to ask yourself.
I do social distancing against the people with the masks. The people with the masks, I stay away from them. I don't think that's good though.
I feel like I've had great success with my energy, just blowing through doors, not listening to anybody, not taking no for an answer. I do my grocery shopping every week. It's just bare minimum. I'm doing the bare minimum things to avoid all these confrontations. Not necessarily avoid them, but so for instance, like I'll leave it here. It's like it's just a lot of work. You know,
Casey, it sounds like you want a problem. It sounds like you're looking for a problem to have.
Damn, nice board, Leslie. Like it.
I mean, I have to think on that. I don't have an answer for that one. I don't want any issues. I just don't want to wear a mask. And I guess I'll leave it here. It's like,
no, you're not leaving it here. She just fucking nailed you. You kidding? That's her first board. You earned that bitch.
Okay. All right, cool. So I'm ashamed to wear a mask. And then I get double shame for people shaming me for being ashamed for wearing a mask. And so it's just double effort, double work.
Check this. Let me put it this way to you. When you're entering that store, right, that person's used to grabbing that prawn or like getting off on that adrenaline when they make somebody submit, right? So that's the whole thing is you do it first. You get your prana levels up. You get your energy level up first where they can't be that one that wins. It's hard, but like it's really a game to them, you know? They're like, oh, here's another one. Oh, I'm gonna get this one. You're not getting this one.
Steve, you know? you're talking over the board that Leslie threw out there. I think Casey just responded very well that he has two levels to it. He has his own objection to wearing a mask, and then people saying if he subjects to wearing a mask. That's where the energy is leaking, or that's where the challenge is for Casey, I think.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, Leslie,
Yep.
go on, Leslie. What else do you see there? Nice work, Tease.
I mean, I respect that that's your, it sounds like to me that you either have shame for being who you really are and you're scared to show that to the world, you know? I have respect for that, man. Like, it's scary to transition.
And it's cool. Maybe I came here because no one else will tell me that. And like, I've been trying to tell myself that, and that's probably why I came here, so you guys could tell me that, because I do. James talks about the core shame, and I'm trying to, I feel it, you know, I always feel it. And it's become apparent. I guess there's a word for it now. There's kind of, I just understand what it is, as opposed to just being something that was lingering, and I'm having to figure out what that energy is. And now I've been able to pinpoint it a little bit better. I have people to talk about it, bounce back and forth.
Don't trust us. Trust
Really
yourself, Casey. Trust yourself.
Can you feel
we're not going to let you be a victim here.
Yourself. Don't trust us. Trust yourself.
Can you feel that? I do. You feel it right now. Right now you do? You feel the shame right now?
About what?
The shame, the core shame you're talking about.
No, not right now.
Okay.
I'm open right now.
When's the last time you felt it? Can you remember the last time you felt it? Be honest, it's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, it's probably just the thought about
good
being me and standing up and being like,
yeah,
you guys can shame me all you want for not wearing a mask. I just don't want to participate in the dinner or whatever it is. I'll see you guys in 2 hours or whatever whatever comes from that.
How does it feel to feel that shame? What does that shame feel like? To have your family isolating you? Does that feel alone?
It's
guessing. I'm not giving you suggestions.
It's more so my friends, my family love me, and we have a great relationship with each other. So they accept.
Yep, friends.
They accept what I feel, and how I think. But the friends, it's a little bit different, and they, how does it feel? It's just like it's like a misunderstanding almost.
So it's not like they're rejecting you. You don't feel alone. You don't feel rejected. You don't feel abandoned. You feel fine. It's just a disagreement, that all this is just fine. That's not fucking right.
No,
it's going to be etheric shame, or it's going to be body shame. It's going to be core shame, or it's going to be etheric shame. Etheric shame is you looking for a fucking excuse to drain electricity. So you find a verbal excuse, something in your mind, something hypothetical that you can worry about, that you can leak electricity for. That's one kind of shame. And Leslie threw that at you, and I saw a glimmer of it in your eyes, and then you covered it up. It's still there now, but it's covered. It's covered right now. And I need to get to it. Now it's going to be one of two things. Either it's going to be etheric shame, which is mean I just want to lose my electricity. You're literally like masturbating in public just to try and get rid of this extra electricity. Or it's the deep core shame that you feel is not valid, is not okay. I need you to pick one right now. Which one is it, Casey? Because I don't know. I'm not inside your cockpit.
So I guess I need a little bit more description on the two of those. You just tried to explain it a little bit, but
will you feel weak if you have to wear a mask? Will you feel weak if you have to wear a mask?
It's right there, Casey. It's right there.
Yeah, yes. It must be yes.
This is free round. Anyone can throw anything at him. He's pinned.
Yes, it must be, because it's such a joke. It's like me playing into the joke, and I don't want to do that.
That's not it.
You feel like you need to prove something.
Don't worry about it.
Like,
if it was a joke.
Okay.
It's crap about having to wear a mask. We choose to wear a mask. Like, there's no one can make you wear a mask. Like, it's all choices. I feel like you're ignoring the fact that you have choices. Like, you get to the airport, they give you shit, you rent a car and you drive. Like, I don't understand this. They made me wear a mask.
It's
Do you think you could handle yourself? Do you think you could handle yourself?
I don't know what that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, like, we've seen people get submitted, by authorities for not wearing masks. Is that a fear that you hold?
It literally has nothing to do with any authority or any. It's the people that I know and that I'm close to and that I love.
He cares too much about what his friends think or having a spotlight on him in public, and that's the shame that makes you feel
Kind
ready
of
for that or not.
It's close.
Kind of. It's just I'll say it. It's just tough. I'll say I'm not going to wear a mask. I'll take the shame. It's just I'm gonna always have to deal with it. It's really what it is.
Really, what
it is what it is. You're gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to bear the responsibility of being who you are.
Yep.
You said it's effort, but it's effort. Is it worth the effort?
Are you worth the effort? Right, Adam? Does Casey consider himself worth that effort? Is it worth all those calories? Is it worth that isolation? If this really comes down to you just to complain about it, Casey, that's fine. But I can't believe that that's it. I can't. I'm wondering if there's more.
Casey, do you put this bar right very high for you, so you cannot fail. I have a sense, or is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. If you put on a mask, who are you failing?
Me.
Your friends or yourself?
Me.
Good.
Are you creating this thing with the mask to prove to your family or to whoever, to prove something, to prove who you are, to prove?
Not at all. It's just constant in my life. And so it's just constant. That's why I'm not at all. I don't have any problem. I used to go out to dinner, just go out and do things. And I'm willing to give those up to not wear a mask for that reason.
The stronger you get, the more challenges you're going to get in life, Casey. So, I think you're doing the right thing. Just continue to do what you got to do. But just realize that's the hard road, or you can just lay down and be a bitch and let society tell you what to do. Those are your choices, If you want, I just wanted to say more practically, if you want to put your email in the chat, Melanie Star Sorcerer has put together a contact list, and you can get on that contact list with us. And lots of different people have lots of different ideas about not wearing masks. And we'd be willing to talk to you about that anytime outside of Dojo we're in. So
yeah, I appreciate everybody. It wasn't really about the practical ways of getting around of wearing a mask. It was more so the ethical and just how I feel about wearing it and telling people that I don't want to and those things, right? So I appreciate everybody vocalizing to me, and I'm going to think on the core shame type of thing, and whether it was vocal or etherical.
I said etheric are inside your body, and the difference because of the way it feels. You don't have to think about it. You'll know the difference between the way and just the way it feels. And it might be hard for you to feel that way because so much of the shame is coming from outside you that you haven't learned how to dismiss the bullshit and just focus on the real shame itself. So this could be just you seeking to listen more to your own electricity. It could just start there, Casey. I'm not sure. I know that your aperture is bigger than most. Guys, I'm not saying that to be generous. Casey and I have spoken before. He's actually spoken to this group, but it was a long time ago. Most of you guys weren't here. So Casey's used to this kind of thing. This is just a very odd thing for you to be complaining about, Casey, because I can't quite touch what it is you want to get at. It feels like there's something else there, and we're skirting it, which is fine, but it's just, we're almost there. And just shout out to Leslee. I think she was the closest here, but you've won this match right now, my friend.
We are getting close, and I feel it. And it's definitely, I feel like it's something else that I could say. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to figure it out, but it's me that's preventing this from going further.
Are you virtue signaling towards your friend and your family that you're so upholding that you won't wear a mask? Is that virtue signaling?
Yeah, you are.
Very quite possibly, but I really don't want to wear one. So that's first and foremost. It's not the virtue of any matter. I really don't want to wear a mask. So,
but you don't until people give you pressure, then you're kind of like wishing that it wasn't that you didn't have a mask on. Do you see what I'm saying? In other words, the pressure that you feel by not wearing one seems to be just as great as the pressure you feel to wear one. It feels like shit when you're not wearing a mask. What I've heard you say earlier, right, Casey? I mean, you just
right. Yeah.
It feels like shit to wear a mask, and it feels like shit to not wear a mask. That's where you're at. It's okay, but that's where you're at.
No, it's way greater to not wear one, and I haven't worn a mask, so I don't know exactly how it feels, but yeah.
Casey, give me a second here. So I can relate a lot to what you're going through because I have not worn a mask in a very, very long time. I've held it up to such a high regard. I think it's a hoax, all this stuff, right? I go into grocery stores, I go shopping, I don't wear masks, and you know, it's empowering in a way, right? Because you're like, yeah, like fuck that. Like I'm not going to listen to your stupid rules. And when you build it up so much that you can't let go of this thing because you're just like, God, if I wear this fucking mask, then everything I've worked for, all of that energy that I poured into that, fuck me, I'm such a bitch. And I think I feel that, man, because I've been there. And I flew on 6 flights actually, to get back and forth to one of my buddy's bachelor parties. And I didn't wear a mask. However, I knew going in that if I'm going to go out there and I'm going to support my buddy, I may have to fucking swallow my pride. And I put a mask in my back pocket just in case I needed one, because I knew that I was not willing to take it to the extent that I was like, I'm not going to jail for this, and I'm not going to miss embracing this time with my brothers, my friends, over a goddamn mask, because that is giving the mask power, right? So if you're actually giving the mask power when you say, man, I'm going to miss spending time with my family. I want to spend time with my family. My family wants to spend time with me, but I'm going to give this mask more power than I'm going to give my family. Right. And so I think that's some of the thing. You've built it up so much, you're not willing to let it go. And hey, maybe just fucking drive and that's fine. But think about that. You know, you've built this thing up so much because you've done tremendous things, and kudos to you, and keep doing them, man. Don't wear the mask. Yeah, don't do that. But
what Josh just said is so perfect, because Casey, I couldn't even get out of the car to go to the grocery store like 2 months ago. I would just sit there in the parking lot and smoke like a fiend in the car, waiting to get out of the car to go. I couldn't do it. And because of all that anxiety. And then finally, with talking with everyone here and just little things that James helped me with, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to do this. And now I go in and put stickers on stuff and all kinds of crazy shit. But my point is, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And as far as my friends, I was so worried about that too, but I can't be bothered by it anymore. And it, you know, if anything, I feel more shame like putting it on or trying to be something that I'm not, versus hiding behind it and saying, okay, well, I can't meet you for dinner because, or I can't go here because, none of it. I'm like, I'm not wearing a mask. If we can all do that, that's great. That's cool. So good luck with that.
Direct honesty. Yeah. Not even an excuse. Just, yeah.
Yep.
I get you. And what was Josh? Yeah, I get what you're saying too.
Wait, so Josh went on the flight? You went on the flight without a mask?
6 flights, yeah.
How'd you manage?
So if you're eating something, they can't ask you to wear a mask. So I was just eating something as I boarded the plane. I actually had like a straw that I was like sucking on or whatever the fuck it was, like a honey straw. And then when I got on the plane, July.
It doesn't matter when it was. We gotta get to the end here.
Yeah, whatever.
We got 3 minutes to go.
To me, it matters. There's different stages when this.
It was in July. It was in the heat of all this shit. Yeah.
We have 3 minutes to go. All right. And I'm shutting this down. Okay.
Can I just jump in quickly?
No, you can't. I'm glad to have you here, Trevor, but I'm going to talk now. I'm the moderator. Right. I'm going to talk now. And Casey, you know, there's something here that I think we should all reflect on. I'm going to reflect on this. But when you started out, you asked us for advice. And one of our kind of little guidelines here in this dojo is that witness is more valuable than advice. And we're all compulsive advice givers. It's like addictions we're working on here. And so you asking for that, I mean, you know, look at all the advice you got. And I don't know, in the end, you can't ask anybody advice. You just have to follow your own moral compass, right? So I don't know if this segment was really helpful in the end. You know, there's lots of back stuff to look through about masks and stuff. We feel you. I hope you come back, and we'll keep working on this. But yeah, like I say, you can contact us if you want stories about how to not wear masks, because we all have those. But I don't know. I don't know if the advice part of this really serves us.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the advice or witness over advice. I used advice as a word, but I got a lot of witness. I got a lot of advice as well. I feel the witness, which is what feels good and what will give me the energy to get where I need to go. But I'll definitely be here as many times as I can. And
you wanted
I enjoyed it. It's great.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. And Evan and Judith Post and Tees, I hope what you have to say will keep, because this witness is the most precious thing ever, and I'm not going to hold you people hostage. So I just want to say thank you. This has been an honor to moderate. Special shout out to Benjamin Crossland. Thanks for coming, man. I miss you when you're not here. We need your fucking salt in here. And yeah, so thanks for believing in me, everybody, and I'll be back next Tuesday for more. So if anybody has any last things to say, now's the time to say it.
Well, I guess I just want to say something real quick, because a lot of the ladies had commented on kind of the masculine energy. It's good for the men too. It's been good for me. So I just want to throw that out there. I wanted to say that the other day. So that's it.
Absolutely, Evan.
It's like, yeah, resonance, you know.
Absolutely.
Judith, Babylon means trading convenience for more.
Judith, can you say something quick to maybe give us an idea of what you're going to talk about? We could keep it in our mind and talk about it next time, tomorrow. You're muted.
What I was gonna say is that I could really feel a cold coming out, and it's because of everybody is so present and staying and keeping. I've been known that when there's anger, you know, the line breaks. So it's so healing. One thing, and the other thing was about actually that all the comfort and soothing that I gave all my life, and what I thought was, I used to think of it as love. And somebody once called it's like a raping of the heart, and I totally denied it at first. But when it hit me, I mean, I've cried. It comes back. I mean, I've been raping so many hearts, both men and women, and yeah. So it's not really for the last minute of it.
I want to hear that, Judith. Can you come back tomorrow? I really want to hear that. Can it hold?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah.
Doesn't feel genuine. You guys, if anyone needs to go, now's the time to go. Now's the time to go. Dojo's over. Nicholas did an awesome job of ending this. We really want to respect everyone's time. So please sign off. I'm not actually going to end the meeting because Judith, babe, my heart's telling me I want to ask if maybe you'll go on. And so this dojo is now over, people. But Judith, I'm listening, and if you want to tell me,
yeah.
I just feel like
I'll stay for that.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nicholas. You really, seriously.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you,
Thanks, everybody.
Good job today.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, everyone.
You're off, ma'am.
All right, Judith, go ahead. No one is hostage now. You have the floor. And thanks again, Nicholas, for respecting our time so much. It really means a lot.
Well, I have a big thing. I've been used to always taking care of others and not not receiving actually. So actually my whole feminine receptivity was sort of blown away by being the daughter of a former priest and nun who sort of taught me to not feel any sexual energy and always taking care of others. And there's been one lady who helped me a lot in all kinds of women work to sort of come to terms more with my own sexuality, to regain the innocence of it. Still working on that. And actually, it's like that. This whole receptivity part. I mean, we as the women, we need to get back in our vagina actually, and this is the starting point. This is our physical starting point, our point of receptivity. And most of the women, for me for sure, I'm always up actually, and when my energy is up, I need to regulate my energy, and it goes straight to the other side. And it's like if I can't regulate my own energy, I need to regulate through somebody else. And I've been calling it love, you know, because, you know, I've been wanting to help people. Of course, I became a psychologist. I need to be needed. I always thought I am helping and I'm loving and I'm sharing, but actually I'm needing so much. And now I see so clearly that I am not trusting somebody else with all my so-called help. And yeah, and it's like if you don't regulate your own energy, you know, in the worst form, because the lady who taught me, she mentioned, like, for most of the time when in the man they usually pull back in their head and in their lower part, in their penis and balls, and
Right, that's so true.
And you sort of regulate from behind, and the women, we, most of the time we pull back from our vagina and we go from there. And so in the worst case scenario, when a man does not regulate his own energy and regulates through the woman, we call it rape. And a woman goes to the police and she gets a blanket, and because she's a victim. But the women, I mean, we have the same energy when we pull back and we regulate the shit that we cannot regulate in ourselves, and we put it on the other person, on the man then, or on the women for that matter. We call it even love, but it's like a rape of the heart, and it's like such a big taboo.
They basically were saying, if you
And you know, this whole Me Too movement, I'm thinking sometimes, where's the women saying like, yeah, me too, me fucking too. I'm not, you know, having not control, but I'm not regulating myself, and yeah, something like that.
Open session, guys. Thank you so much, Judith. Yesterday, I showed a drawing of the genitals differentiation. I don't know if you guys remember that, between man and a woman. And one of the saddest things I see is that a woman will crawl up into her shoulders and will suspend herself in her head and will stop her toes from touching the hot blood. She thinks that her own blood has alligators in it. She thinks that it's infested with piranha. She can't sink into her own body. And when you circumcise a penis, or when you have an abortion, or when you have a miscarriage, all these things are pushing us out of our body, right, Judith? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
We're showing each other that the women need to stop being women and the men need to stop being men. Truthfully, what we're showing is you need to stop using your genitals. So many of us are surrogate adrenals for other people. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but we're hijacking someone else's adrenals to try and fucking feel something, to try and suck forth that energy, whether it be on ourselves or on someone else. And the exact antithesis of what everyone's being told to do is exactly the solution. We need to be more inside of ourselves. We need to be more present in ourselves. And what we're doing here is giving us that. I wish we were in person right now. I wish we were on, it's okay, but it's just, it becomes that much more apparent when smells are involved. You're living in a culture that's removed smells. Why? Because smells are directly tied into your limbic system. Your olfactories bypass your neocortex altogether, which would give it pure intuition. They've removed that with this internet. It's why it's not our internet, it's not our airport, it's not our roads. It belongs to Babylon. What we have with each other is what we have. It's humanity, and it's these connections. Does anyone have anything for Judith?
Can I just that she's one of the most authentic people I've ever heard speaking. It's just pure what she feels. It's really wonderful. Thank you so much, Judith, and you just feel very powerful to me, actually.
Yeah, I feel that too.
Yeah, thank you. I'm in the future when I moderate, I'm going to try to make space for these things to continue. I'm going to adjust my approach at the end because I'm really glad that you said what you said, Judith.
I know you wanted her to do that, by the way, Nick. Guys, people should know that I tell all the moderators beforehand, if you don't end it at 2, I'm considering that you're holding people hostage, and Nicholas is trying to respect that too. So.
Yeah, next time I'll just say, you're free to go, but we're going to stay and listen to Judith.
Thank you for sharing that, Judith, very much. I knew that was hard. I do.
Yeah, I really think actually that we, the women, we are as much responsible for all the sexual misconduct in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We are. I mean, if the men are not strong in their heart, we just push them out with all our love. Fuck.
No, I know. I had my hand up raised earlier and I looked at the clock and I actually put it down because I knew it just wasn't, and I understand that too, about that. Even with, I do. I really do. And you're right about that. I mean, I think about, how we would dress at work. And, I think what we used to do even 15 years ago, I mean, all of it's wrong. And you're right. There's a lot that we need to work on and to fix.
I think a lot of trouble.
Go ahead. What's that?
Struggle a lot with these discussions about being like proper men or full females or proper. I am so much like my mother, and I've always chafed really hard against those gender roles of men, and it's just so constricting. I think that's one of the senses I get from you, Judith, is that it just feels so constricting, especially when everyone's trapped in these binaries of what you're supposed to do. And if all these women are being told to put on strap-ons, then it just becomes all this constricting zone where they all enforce that on each other. I don't know. I just have trouble with these conversations.
I mean, because there's men and women. I mean, this is more the general. Of course, there are men that are more also having the female approach. But what it comes down to is that we have to regulate our own energy, and it makes us human that we don't. But if we please can take the responsibility afterwards, if we yeah. But I think that's what we're doing here in the dojo. I can also relate to you that it's not like black and white. Yeah.
I think a perfect analogy is rain. And I say that because if it's raining and I left something in my car and I have to go get something out of my car, there's like a little mini war. Like, I don't want to get wet. Oh God, I'm getting wet. Oh shit, I'm getting wet. And then if I come home, I get back inside and then I go, I'm going to take a shower now. Like, those are exactly the same fucking thing. They're exactly the same fucking thing. But I have a completely different approach to each of them. And both of them is based on my attitude about it. Both of them is based on what I bring into it. And I think so many of us are, yes, the men are, and women treat men like shit when it comes to, you need to be a man and you're being too much of a man. You need to be a man. You're too much of a man. You need to be a man. And it's always, but you know what? It's vitriol. You're making the men who are men that much more men. And you're making the men that were pretending to be men that much less men. So even that is good vitriol from men's standpoint. The same thing for women. So if the more we equate to ourselves, the more we take on that responsibility of ourselves, I think the easier this vitriol comes, that we start to notice, yes, it's raining. I'm going out to the car. It's okay. I'm going to face some rebuke. I'm going to get wet. Drops are going to hit me where I used to be dry. And it's going to affect my entire field because it's like, oh, I'm melting. And that's all because of process. It's all because of how we approach that. Anyway, I think that's most of our power is lost or gained from that perspective, like what we're bringing to that experience we have, whether it be being a man, being a woman, or fuck, man, walking in the rain. So
I had a comment on that, James. Men too want the pussy so bad that they abandon everything they stand for, and they just will take it, and we'll just, instead of us actually standing for something what we believe in deeply, we want that so bad, that thing, that physical thing, instead of the real electrical connection. Instead of telling them the truth, we want that thing, and we abandon ourselves to that, and we forget who we are because we just want some of that. We want to sleep tonight, so we want to ejaculate, and so we abandon who we really are, and in that we lose our connection with the women that we love in our life. At least that's what I've done. I do that all the time. That's what I do.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, James. Judith, thank you for your story. How are you going to approach life knowing all this? How does it apply to your life right now, with respect to where you came from and what you know now?
Well, for now, I'm trying to realize that, yeah, I am not regulating myself and putting it out in the world, and I'm regulating through other people. And when it happens and I notice it, I just take immediately my responsibility and say, hey, sorry for that. I need to do some little homework here, and I try to find out what it is that I'm not able to regulate in myself. But also I'm trying not to be too harsh on myself, which I can, and then I'm not human anymore. So this is my struggle.
And in your sense, how is the struggle going? Are you getting energy from this fight, from this vitriol you're experiencing?
Yeah, for sure, especially when it comes to feeling more at home in my own body and learning to feel happy with myself and feeling my sexual energy. And yeah, I realize most of the time I get out of myself, and yeah, it brings me back to life. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else, guys?
Well, really, just to say that that thing that I spoke about having that, what happened to me with the sort of miscarriage. I don't suppose it was just that. My mum sort of was involved in that. But that had left a hole in me, and I didn't feel comfortable in down there in my womb, and I do now. So I wasn't sort of working on that specifically, but it was just something that sort of came up in an emotional way, and because I sort of got that sorted out, I now feel much more at home there. I can go there now and feel more at home. So, you know, it wasn't because I was working on what Judith's working on specifically, but it did really help that for me.
I think that there's
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Jennifer. I thought.
But yeah, well, I was just going to say that I kind of also had to go through a stage when I was 17 of burning my brand, shouting at workmen, whistling at me. I kind of had to let that anger come out because of all the stuff that I had before. That really helped me too, although it was me being a sort of women's lib horrible thing, but I had to do that for me at that point, and that was a really good thing for me to do at that point. So let's do that as well.
Yep.
Okay.
The real power, I'm gonna tell you something. This is some serious magic what I'm about to drop on you guys. Serious magic here. You want to put a woman back into her body, you want to put a man back into her body, wash their feet. I'm telling you, wash their feet. Make it a ceremony. Wash their feet. Yeah. Grab a bowl, grab a washcloth. Ceremonially wash their feet. You're going to watch a woman that's been running away from her toes her entire life, watching a man that she loved stop the entire world and wash her feet. And when you wash those feet, she's going to move into them. She's going to step into those toes, and she's going to be a woman again. And before you do that, she's going to have a strap on. She's going to have her hair up. She's going to be fucking shoulder pads. Our women wear shoulder pads, right? And when you wash her feet, you take all that away. And you change her life forever because no one's ever washed her feet like that. It's serious magic, guys. Serious magic. And all this is electrical. This is all electrical. And you're using your instinct, you're using your electricity, and you're using your intuition, much like Leslee did with Casey. She was just like, I'm new here. Let's fucking throw this thing. And that's how all this comes out. It all comes out that way, doing what you think might be weird, but is actually exactly what you need. It will put you back into that. And it shows you the power of witness, Andrea, because you can't wash your own feet and be all like, oh, I feel so much better now. It's not going to fucking work. You need someone that's not telling you, and don't screw it up by going, hey, honey, I'm going to go get a washcloth and come back in here and wash your feet. And it's going to be a ceremonial magic, and it's going to take place in 3 minutes. So go ahead and prepare for that. No. Don't fuck it up. You have one opportunity. Dilation committee has one opportunity to dilate. And then once you give it up, once people see what you're doing, the entire thing's ruined. So don't fuck it up. You can alchemize your family, your wife, your husband, your kids, whatever. Get in your body. It will all flow. I promise you it will all flow. Same for you, Jennifer. Jennifer, you'd freak your shit if we were all sitting here and all of a sudden I got up and just washed your feet in front of everybody. You'd freak the fuck out. You'd probably have an orgasm. I'm sorry, but you probably would. Like, part of it would probably be like, oh God, that felt really good. Then it'd be awkward as shit. Then you'd be like, for months, should I bring that up? No, I won't. Yes, I will. No, I won't. It'll be a whole other case of vitriol, but it will put you in your body. And that's where we belong, because that's where the generosity, that's where all the good shit happens, man, is when we're on our body. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that. Sorry to put you on the spot, Jennifer. Does anyone else have anything?
Yeah, I have. This is so cringeworthy. The 3 years ago.
Don't ruin my fucking magic story. No.
I kid you. I'm gonna affirm your magic here.
Yeah, go ahead.
My wife, 3 years ago, started going to this foot massage coaching woman in the village, and it was so lovely. Oh, it was so liberating for her. Whatever, and. That same woman coaches a lot of people, or does it during a foot massage in this village. And that's how actually she ended up with this other guy. And the wife of this other guy was also going to this foot massage. So it's really such a big soap. So in a sense, I get it, because I gave foot massages and I washed girls' feet, and I know this works, but I've got a general distaste of foot massages because of all the thing that happened. So that's what's bringing this up. But I get where you're going. Okay, thanks.
No, you didn't. If you got where I'm going, you wouldn't have fucking said that. You would have texted me later going, oh, hey, by the way, this is going to backfire. Now it's going to lead to all this other bad shit. Thanks a lot, Teeth. Anyway.
He's just proven the magic works, though, right? The magic works.
That's true. It does work. It does true. All right, guys.
Can I just add something? I have to add something.
Talk about how massage is more intimate than sex. It's an epic Pulp Fiction lesson.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it can be. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dogmar.
I just wanted to add to what you're saying. I had the experience of washing a woman's foot, and it was my sister. And it's not just for the person whose foot is being washed, it's the person who is washing someone's foot, that it is an absolutely the most holy experience, or even touching someone's foot. I have like foot memories. One is touching my sister's foot and wiping it with a wet cloth when she was in the hospital. And the other one is my father, who just randomly like that would just, while I'm sitting somewhere, he'd just pick up my foot and he would just like massage it, you know. And both of those experiences were extraordinary and memorable because they definitely pulled me into my body, but in a holy, like so far away from my head, because the foot is so far away that it was like I had to experience someone else in myself. And the same thing for when I was, you know, doing it, touching my sister's foot, and every foot that I've ever touched, you know, has always been this like, I touched that part of the person that I always wanted to really touch anyway, you know. So I'm really, wow, I'm just so grateful that you brought this up, because you just introduced us to like a holy act that honors truly the limbic, you know, that takes us down. And in the foot is not only that part of us, but it's also in the foot is the earth part of us, because it's touched the earth so many times. And I would always say that walking barefoot is like kissing the earth with each step. So you could feel the person when you touch their feet, you're also feeling the earth wherever they've walked. And wow. So I hope that counters what Tees just said.
Great stuff. Yeah, it does, Dr. Thank you. And he's just giving you a hard time, but yeah, man.
I know. I love it.
Luckily, she's Tees.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
She had said, you know, that we need to be responsible for our own power, and that's true, yes. But in these ways, like the foot washing thing that got brought up, in these ways we can help each other climb back into our bodies, climb back into our own cockpit, and help each other heal and get back into our own masculine or feminine energies. Just wanted to add.
And Steve, don't fuck it up by telling her, because if you tell her, you're etherically washing her feet in her mind before you actually do it physically, and you'll screw the whole thing up. So don't fuck it up, Steve. Steve's saying in chat he's going to do it tonight. Don't mess that up. All right. You want this to be a surprise foot washing. Okay. They're going to be like, what are you doing? It's going to be like that kind of thing. And don't tell them you're doing it for them. Tell them you're doing it for you, saying, I want to wash your feet. That's, guys, as someone who cannot keep a relationship, as someone who cannot keep a wife for more than 3 months, you need to trust me on this. I know what All right, guys. Should we sign off now? All right. Thank you all so much. Can we all say goodbye at the same time?
Love you all.
Thanks so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
I love you. 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 I love you.